Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screen. Today we're talking about gray projection screen paint mixes, or gray screens, or gray screen paints at the end of the day. Or are you getting what you claim you're getting from these particular screens? Now, these screens claim to give you contrast levels. Some of them are very honest. They'll sit there and say, well, you'll be able to get contrast levels to a certain degree. Now, from what I've seen on the YouTube videos, as I said before, in a lot of the demonstrations, two individuals do make accusations that their products do produce, actually I think it's two, make accusations that their products do produce extremely good contrast levels. At the end of the day, I'm here to tell you it doesn't work that way. So, one of the fellows who has a channel by Crow1176 does state in his videos quite a few times that a product he makes called Cinemax has the ability to be able to produce contrast levels equal to a black screen. But in these demonstrations, I see a lot of these demonstrations being done in a dark environment to try to give it the illusion that it has the ability to be able to produce these contrast levels. Now keep in mind, we've got his product here. I have it upstairs in my attic. We did quite a lot of testing on it. And at the end of the day, we found out it was able to match a Sherman Williams house paint with the number of, I think it was called a Network Gray SW773. It was also able to match 2 tablecloths by Amazon and was able to be beaten by one of the tablecloths that was actually dark gray. But all in all, these particular fabrics and the paints and so forth still at the end of the day have a very hard time producing contrast. And you know, if you're going to tell somebody that the product works and gives you fair contrast, then that's understandable. But to tell them that it's going to be equal to a black screen, that is a complete lie. So I'm going to show you actually what you're really getting from a gray paint or gray screen or a screen paint product at the end of the day. This is what you're going to be receiving. Now, the projector we're going to be using in the demonstration has plenty of power. This is my, this broken controls on top of it, my medication. This is the Sony VPL FH30. It's a venue projector. It's a WXGA projector, 1920 by 1200. This projector is quite powerful. These are venue projectors used for commercial use. We're probably about a good 12 feet away from the screen right there. All right, so in this demonstration, we are going to be displaying contrast only to show you at the end of the day, sorry about that these particular products, gray products, do not produce contrast on any level whatsoever. We just did one on color a few minutes ago. We'll be doing another one if we can get this done before Mr. Sun pops up. We'll do another one. Basically, it'll probably be tomorrow. I'm showing you why, again, you don't want to use them in dedicated theaters due to the fact that there's going to be light dispersing everywhere in the environment. I think before we do that one, I want to make sure we get the room bone white first before we do that one. So that should take a day to get everything in here and to get the room set up. So you get a chance to put the whole thing together. All right, so let's get to this right here. The motorized projection screen you're seeing, that is using our Black Phantom technology that produces a 100% contrast level. It is one of the blackest screen paints we've ever developed. It also has the ability to produce one of the amazing white levels and colors into it at the same time. All right, so let's come out of here real quick. We're going to pop over into a contrast demonstration. Now the demonstration we're going to be using is, first things first, this one's, we've done this before. We're going to get another one. Black background, goldfish. And this is an extremely hard demonstration to do because the background of this demonstration is completely jet black. You just have a goldfish passing through. That's basically about it. So you're going to have to be able to produce a black contrast. And as you can see, the gray product is not doing the same thing. Now I know I'm going to have people out there saying that, hey, Mr. Bird, you're wrong, because at the end of the day, this is a Sherman Williams house paint. Well, just to let you know that we've done our testing, as I said before, very thorough what we do. At the bottom of the description, you'll see them pretty soon. I'm going to pop up 3 links. One link is going to be our product, going against a 1000 projector, showing off our white levels against other black fabrics and materials. And the other one is going to be a test that we did against Sherman Williams paint versus the product that we received from a fellow by the name of Crow1176 on his YouTube channel, showing that the products match perfectly with no problem. So at the end of the day, Sherman Williams Network Gray 773 is Crow's product at the end of the day, because it matched not only one of his products, it matched all 3 of them. The Cinemax, the Personal, and the Metallic Mix. So we'll put those links down below. I do not like to talk about things unless I have things to back it up. All right, so let's begin. Lights on. This is what you're going to be receiving. Some people feel that if they get a much more powerful projector, maybe a higher lumen count, they'll be able to pick up a better contrast level. Lumens has nothing to do with your projector's contrast capability, nor your color. Calibrating, yeah, but you can only calibrate your black levels but so high. That's basically about it. I've actually seen adapters out there now that try to give you the ability to pull contrast level, but it's not going to work. All right, let's see. More controls are where? Oh, over here. Okay, cool. Let's bring our screen down. See if you're going to pick up a 100% black level. Mind you, the goldfish must stay vivid through the entire demonstration when the black screen is in displayed. This is how we test our technology. That goldfish must be seen, which means that that goldfish is unseeable, and all you can see is the black level. It is a complete fail on the behalf of the black technology. It has to be to display a white level also. So not only must you see the contrast level, but you must see the goldfish moving back and forth across the screen. In a sense, you can see the goldfish vivid and crystal clear, shows that our technology is pulling an amazing white level with no problem, and also to displaying a true 100% contrast level in a fully lit environment without the image fading out. These are the challenges we gave a few people at the end of the week to do. Meet or max our zone. This is what's supposed to be done. It was never met. So to be fair, when we do these demonstrations, we do give the person who has developed or made the product a chance to be able to back their products up. If they don't do so, then guess what I say? It is what it is. So this tells our customers at the end of the day, keep in mind my projector behind me is a 2012 model, discontinued, old projector. I paid about $300 for it on eBay. It tells our customers at the end of the day, guess what? We don't have to calibrate our projectors. We don't have to depend on high-end projectors as a form of a crutch in order to make the product look good. We don't have to be in an ambient light controlled environment. There you go right there. And with the lights out, you're still going to get the same results from the gray screen paint product. All right, let's take our lights up, show you what we got. All right, so there's our lights out. There's our technology being displayed. That screen's so dark you can't even see the screen on the other side. Now watch me bring it up. Here's the gray screen paint product. Well, it's called gray screen paint because it's the same thing. And this is also an eye-opener to anyone who may think they want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Sherman Williams and paint your wall with a gray paint. This is what's going to happen to your screen at the end of the day. This is the reason why these companies spend the money to do the research on their technology at the end of the day, because if it were that easy to just go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and go pick up a gray paint and paint it on your wall, companies that develop dark technology such as I and other ones wouldn't be in business. There's a difference between what we make, or a difference between what I make and they make, but still there's a difference. Because at the end of the day, I can put a Dark Star 9 up here, and a Dark Star 9 will be able to produce a contrast level and white levels at the same time with no problem. The only problem with the Dark Star 9 is the Dark Star 9 is not black, it's gunmetal, which means our screen would pull the highest contrast level, turning the Dark Star 9 slightly a little gray. All right, let's switch over to something else. Let's go with a Starfield screensaver. We're going with the hard ones today, people. Starfield screensaver. This is one of my favorites.
Getting that from YouTube.
I got I got Garfield. I don't know, for some reason. This is another one I saw. I'm going to check this one out first. Now, you're probably looking at that and saying, oh, there's contrast right there. No, not even close. Not even there. Let's show you what you're missing. There you go. And this is the reason why I explained that when people are doing these demonstrations need to be done in a fully lit environment. Because like I said, Unless you're expecting the customer to be in the exact same environment that you're going to be in every single time for every single video, that's bullcrap at the end of the day. Mind you, if you're telling them, hey, look, you can use this with a venue projector is not going to be in a dark environment. Venue projector is a commercial projector. It's going to be used in a fully lit environment. That's why they have such an insane counts when it comes to the lumens, because they know this is a projector that's going to be tossed in a very harsh environment, and they have to have enough lumens on that projector at the end of the day that they're going to lose in the process of going from A to B. But they got the lumens to sacrifice on a projector that's going to give you about 50,000, 5,000, or 20,000 lumens. That's not going to work when you got a gray screen that can't see it to begin with on a projector of, should we do this at 1,000 today? We could do this at 1,000. We're going to run this back at 1,000. I think we should. We could do 1,000. But look at that right there. That's our technology. That's my screen. That's not the gray screen paint product. That's my screen. Let me show you what your screens look like if you do this at the end of the day. That's our technology. That's a gray screen coming up right now. There's no way in the world you're picking up any contrast levels on that. That's the best you're going to be able to do in a dark environment. The best you're going to be able to do. If any light comes on the environment, automatically your screen's going to wash out. This is why I always say at the end of the day, do not do contrast demonstrations strictly in the dark, because this is fooling your customers. Because say customer watches this and he goes, that little contrast level was pretty good. He takes this home and he does this. Now what happens? Contrast level's not there anymore. It's all washed out. But in the demonstration, he saw a contrast level, right? And then he's going to start doing some research. So look at the caliber projector the person's using. Well, what kind of projector were they using in the demonstration? That thing has a what? 2 million to 1 contrast ratio, which means the projector that was chosen for that particular demonstration was designed to heighten certain levels in the demonstration to make the product look good. Because if the customer doesn't have the exact same projector, then he can't achieve the exact same thing that was done in the video, which means that he has something equal or better in order to do so. Most people within their budget are not going to spend $3 grand for a projector. I deal with people all day long. They're not going to deal with it at the end of the day. They want something for much lesser, but they want a good quality picture at the end of the day. So you're forcing your customers to buy an expensive projector in order to get the same, how you say it, quality. That's what you say. Your product gives quality. Your product only gives quality if you have the same projector, if you have the same setting and the same lighting in the environment. That's the only way you get that particular quality that you speak of in your demonstrations. Other than that, if the customer buys it, me saying I'm the customer, I buy your product because I'm impressed by the video demonstration. I get home and I use it on my projector, and this is the results I get. If I'm a company and I buy your product and I'm using a 4300 lumen Christie projector and a well-lit environment to display in the store, this is what I'm going to get. This is why you don't do these demonstrations in dark environments. This is why we do these demonstrations in a max out zone. And this particular screen was in a max out zone, which means this screen is designed to take on a ton of ambient light, which means if I stick it in this environment, it can do this. There you go. That's the best way I can explain it to you. On why. This is why I say over and over again on camera, do not do contrast demonstrations in dark environments, because you're lying to your customers at the end of the day. This is why we put those challenges out there for them. We say, hey, look, is your product that good? How about this? How about you do a demonstration in a meter max out zone, lay the meter flat on the floor, so that way the meter is not disrupted by window light or anything else. It's just hitting the light from the ceiling, and that's it. That's all it's hitting. The reason why we say lay those meters flat on the floor is because some people will take a meter and stick it right by the door, and they'll stick it right up there on a bookcase, which means that light that's pushing to the door could disrupt the count on the meter. Or they'll stick them up in the front, knowing that the projector is going to hit some of that meter and it's going to jump the count. One of the ones I saw in Crow's video, he had several lamps behind the back of him. Now he says he has the lamps behind the back of him to show how much ambient light the screens can take in. So why was the meter sitting in a direct line of fire where the lamps were being hit at when it comes to the screen? That meter should have never been there. If you wanted to show off that display, you could have had your lamps in the background, but you could have had your meter elsewhere, not in the line where all the lights hitting to get the meter to jump. You don't do that. That's why we request for meters to always lay flat on the ground so they're not being disrupted by any of the light, not near windows, not near doors, in a neutral area where where the readings cannot be disrupted. Now, when requesting him to do so on contrast levels only, he refused. You know why? Because this cuts away from all the little smoke and mirrors and little tricks he likes to pull in his demonstrations. You can't do it now. So he's just going to ignore the request. So this is why we explain you don't use contrast demonstrations in the dark. Because me saying customer Bob watches the demonstration and go, wow, look at that contrast levels on that gray screen paint product. And then get it here and I turn my lights on and then boop, this is what I get. Just a little bit of light in the room would trigger that effect. It wouldn't take much to do it. And we're at 4,300 lumens, mind you, keep in mind. Now, the caliber of projector used in demonstrations, yes, changes the outcome of how the screen is going to perform. That's why we do a lot of these on 1,000 projectors. To sure at the end of the day, we can use a crappy old portable projector and still get good results. This is why in the room we have the multi-screen setup. The multi-screen setup is set up for multiple projectors, which means we can run all different types of projectors at the same time in that room, and you can see how they're going to react. We did this with Crow's product. We put his product on each one of those projectors. We did a color pattern. His screen failed on every single one of them, which shows at the end of the day that the projector he's using is a crutch. Crutch projector is a projector that people will use over and over and over again in demonstrations because they know in that environment where that setting's at, where that projector is going to be at, they're going to get the best image. You ever see him lift up that P2 projector and take it elsewhere and do another demonstration someplace else and try to get the same results? Or try to use a different projector than that one in a different environment or a different setting. We can move about the house. I can do demonstrations in that room, this room, downstairs. We can move about if we choose to show you that no matter what projector we use in the house, whatever environment we use, how much lighting we use, we're always going to get a good picture. That's what you call quality at the end of the day. So, me, customer Bob, checking out the projector. Now, if you look at the projector, the specifications of the projector, of course, are going to be much higher than the one that you're using. Because you have to consider the fact that that 2 million to 1 has to be helping a little bit. Or maybe a little bit too much. Maybe it's helping. So what happens if he takes the same projector on the 720p Epson projector, will he get the same contrast results as he got on the the P2? No, he's not. That's why you don't start off with such a high-end, insane projector. My contrast ratio, my projector is 3,000 to 1. That's it. All right, let me go bring this up. Let's get something else. Let's take this out of the way. Bob's going to be really shocked at the end of the day. He really is. So this is why the protocol is, this is what they tell you. Okay, I understand you're not getting the same results, but they know darn well at the end of the day, you're not using a $50,000 projector as being used in the demonstration. So how do you explain to somebody who just bought a $5,000 projection screen or an $80 screen paint at the end of the day why it does not look the same way in the demonstration? You got to calibrate your projector. If you want the colors to come out the way you want them to come out, the key thing is we calibrate our projectors over here, and that's going to give you a much better picture quality. I've heard them say this in videos all the time. To optimize your viewing pleasure, what you want to do is you want to use this in an ambient light controlled environment. That way, you want that kind of movie theater setting. Well, keep in mind, at the end of the day, people that are using ultra short throw projectors aren't exactly using this for like a movie theater setting. An ultra short throw projector is set up like a TV set-top box. They're designed to be like a TV projection screen. That's what they are. They're not developed. You can watch movies off it, yes, but you want a real movie theater experience, you get one of these big boys over here, or one of these projectors are designed to be thrown back, and those are movie theater projectors they're used for. They're not used for, anytime you let me know when you walk into any home theater setup on any form site and someone shows off a dedicated theater room or a setup and they got an ultra short throw sitting in there. No. Now, you may say, okay, downstairs, yeah, because I have no choice. If you see my theater room downstairs, yeah, it's something else. Wide walls, short distance. Other than that, yeah. But truthfully, like I said, at the end of the day, if you have that option to have, if you have the option to have that distance throw, they're not going to do a short, ultra short throw in there. They're going to use long throws in there. So this is the tabletop ultra short throws are set up to like home environments, the living room, den, recreation room. That's what they're set up for. That's how they advertise them. They don't advertise them as a theater room set up with chairs and tables. You don't never see that. It's always set up as a family gathering setting. You can have that amazing, huge size TV set up in your living room, the movie theater experience, and still have your lights on and your environment at the same time. That's how they sell it. Look at the Valvo projectors. They go all day long on Facebook. They sell the same thing. They show a TV over here, then they show this giant screen over here, and they go, look, you can have all your lights on. You can have this in your home, and you don't have to have a theater package. You don't have to spend the money for it. You can have it all in one. So what's the point of having it all in one if you're stuck in the dark? You're turning your living room into a cave at the end of the day. Let's grab something else. We had Starfield screensaver, right? I'm watching you. Out. Let's go. Because he can't stay here and sit in one spot. He has to find out other things work in the shop, like move things around. So he has plenty of, come on, you got plenty to run around in. There's a Starfield screensaver right there. And I need my door shut for this demonstration. I need you to open my door. Okay, let's go. Let's get at it. Let's go. Thank you. There you go. Now, mind you know what I'm going to say? If he feels in any way possible that this is not true and all this is fake, all you got to do is do the same demonstration and back it up. Simple and plain. You can go and get some black paint, paint it down the side. Like I said, at the end of the day, black paint is going to produce a contrast level. It is. It just can't see white light. That's the only problem. But it will produce contrast levels. You can put black paint right down the side of this, and it'll pick up a star field. Any demonstration we just showed, it's going to display it with no problem. The only problem, it can't see that, it can't pick up proper color, and it can't pick up proper white levels. But if you want to do it side by side, just go and get a Home Depot, buy yourself some black paint, paint it right down the side of your screen, and do the same demonstration. That's all you got to do. And show them at the end of the day that that I'm a fake, that this demonstration right here is completely falsified, and that your product at the end of the day, oh, keep in mind, don't forget that Sherman Williams. Please don't forget that. That your product is not going to match the Sherman Williams at the end of the day, that 773, and on top of that, your product is going to be to do a much better or maybe blend into the black screen. That you can do this in a fully lit environment. And keep in mind, meters must be present on the floor. Always you got to put that out there. People don't know how to do demonstrations correctly. They were just trying to find areas where you can cut corners as much as possible. Like when you claim to have a black screen. One of the things we looked at, you're claiming to have a black screen. We noticed that when you set the screen on top of your center speakers, that your screen came up gray. Like the gunmetal screen we have here, this screen is a dark gray. But if you look at it, we take this out of the equation, they look black. But no, that screen is gray. That's how when we saw the demonstration, when he set down the product on top of the speakers were blacker than the product. Letting us see at the end of the day that your product at the end of the day is not black, it's actually gray. That's why we request, when people do black paint, we request a pour out demonstration. Pour out means you pour out black paint next to your product to show both products are black and not one's gray. It's stuff you got to do because people do sneaky stuff in the day. But majority, and keep in mind, companies do it too. Majority of the screens we ran across to bring over here for testing, I literally thought at the end of the day there were black screens on video. Got them down here, they were gunmetal screens. They're like gray. Paint on screens, for instance. Yes, sirree. We got sample sheets of paint on the screens. They got a nice little square piece of a sample sheet from them. When I went on to check out the product, it said black on the container. I'm thinking we have a black paint. But then when I go in and get the product here, it's not black. It's actually kind of a dark gray. Even in the product description, it says black, but dark gray. Notice either one or the other. Either you're black or you're dark gray. Which one is it? All right, let's take our lights out. There we go. And you're like, well, you know, his videos take forever. Yeah, they do take some time. Because you know why? You have to know what you're talking about to begin with. You can't give a lecture on nuclear physics if you haven't even read or done any books or any studying whatsoever. You know the bare minimum. What you know is what you can explain at the end of the day. So if you have very few knowledge on based on how an atom smasher works, you can only give out so much knowledge at the end of the day because you only know so much. But a person who's been doing it for years and years and years can sit there and have a lecture for days on end without pause because there's so much knowledge that they have to give at the end of the day. That's why when I watch your demonstrations and I see how you two present your products, at the end of the day, you have no idea what you're talking about. And then watching your specification pages, completely useless at the end of the day. The only thing I can say about Partey, he does have a lot of information, but the sad thing about it, the information he has on his page, most of it's falsified. Oh, my goodness. Let me see, where are we? Where are the remote controls? Oh, wait, is my screen up or down? We can't tell. Yes, down. Keep forgetting. All right, let's see. What you're going to get. In the dark with a star field demonstration. This is why every time I see two things I see in demonstrations with Crow. Two things. One, when he displays color, he's trying to show a screen off in a fully lit environment, which he claims is not ambient light rejection at the end of the day. Always well-lit environment. I'll explain this to you, that colors will basically fade less in a fully lit environment. They are faded, trust me. At the end of the day, they are faded, but they will fade less. Contrast demonstrations constantly in the dark because you can't produce that in a fully lit environment because it'll wash out. Let me show you how much ambient light it takes to trigger a screen off to wash out. Let me get a lamp. Right now, as you can see, you think, most people look at that and think, oh, that's the contrast level right there. That screen's not black, that screen's actually gray. So you're seeing shades of gray. Here comes the black screen. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. There you go. I'm gonna leave that right there for you. I'll be right back. Watch this. Okay, there you go. That's why I tell you, at the end of the day, this is completely useless. Not worth your time. Now let me show you something real quick. One of the tricks, we'll get this out of here untangled first. How this got all tangled like this. One of the tricks that I see people use, we're going to show you how people do, when we be doing demonstrations on how people fake demonstrations. Let me show you all the things to look for when you're watching a demonstration. Simple lamp like this. Partey uses lamps something like this. I'm going to show you why these are considered to be fake demonstrations. You know why? Because a lamp is going to have two ways for light to channel. Either up or down. That's what it's going to come at. Light is going to disperse from the side, but from the side it's going to be controlled because it has a shade right here. This is what's controlling how much light disperses out. Now, when I watch demonstrations of people having lights like this peppered out through their environment, they're saying, look, my screen's ambient light rejection is taking on all this light. The problem is that your light is shooting straight up at the ceiling, and the other half is shooting at the bottom. Nothing's really making contact from the screen. Now, if you wanted to do a real demonstration, what you would do is you go in and remove your shade. So we're going to have one with the shade on, one with the shade off. Oh, we're going to do some nitty-gritty stuff in this room. This room is going to be based, we call this a reality test room. you're going to get a chance to see all the little nooks and crannies and all the little secrets that we see every single day. We're going to expose all of them so you can see them. So be careful if you're on your channel and you're running your mouth about your product, this, that, and the other. Don't mention my name at the end of the day. You don't want that nonsense. We had the fellow who, now the same fellow who went in and said the thing about that screen called Lux. We call it LU. We had him here. We tested him. But anyway, he made a statement in his YouTube video about how gray screen paint products altogether are not worth your time, and you're better off going with the, he had something called PPG, I think PPG. Go with PPG, it does the same thing. Never should have mentioned my name. That was a bad idea to do. So, I didn't contact him. I basically went out and bought M&M. Now, M&M is a more expensive version, better than PPG. It's much more expensive. It's a much more high-grade silver. PPG is somewhere between like $17 maybe a quart. This stuff is $100 a quart. So I went and got a very high-grade silver. Painted it in, did the demonstration, and in the demonstration, not only was I able to produce better color, contrast, but we did this on a screen that wasn't even black. We did it on a colored screen and was able to produce better color. And wrote my name in the screen with the silver paint. Sent him the video and explained to him, don't mention my name in any more videos anymore. And that was the end of it. Didn't do it. Now, mind you, when we did this demonstration, this is what got Crow in trouble at the end of the day. Crow, and then I sat there and said in the video, the silver paint we're using has nothing to reflect on anyone else. It's between an individual on YouTube who basically came out there and made a statement about my product and his product. Now, how he handles his business and backs it up, that's his world. I know how to back my product up. When I bought a silver product, much more advanced than the fellow was using the video demonstration, he was kind enough, never mentioned it again. He was very polite about it, and that was the end of it. But I was able to back my product up. Crow still hasn't backed his product up. At the end of the day, that silver paint would beat the living daylights out of this product, and it would. All right, so let's talk about this now. So, this is what when you do a demonstration, you must make sure that the lampshade is not there anymore. You know why? Now this changes how the physical light is going to be dispersed from the lamp. Now you have not only light coming from the top and the bottom, but you have it going all the way around. All right? Then you have a lamp here that does have the lampshade on it. So when we watch demonstrations, these are the ones we see peppered out through the entire environment. One of the other things I notice when I watch these demonstrations, obstacles in windows, blocking any light coming through, as much light as possible. I've seen that in a few of Partay's demonstrations where we had a screen here next to a window, you had a large plant or a lamp sitting right directly in the window. You could have moved that out of the way. Where his screen is setting in his environment. So he made the room where his screen is sitting at. If you notice, it sits in like a small little pocket, so the screen pushes in. The ambient light that he has, there's a lip that comes up like this, and then there's the ambient light up here from the what do you call it? Condensed lighting. The condensed lighting would make no contact with the screen because the screen actually sits under a lip, under a cliff right in here. And it actually is pocketed just enough so when the window light comes out, it bypasses the screen. Which means when you design that environment, you design it strictly to hide that screen into a small little pocket, bypassing any real ambient light that may make contact with the screen. When I saw the demonstration, I noticed that when he moved the room around the camera, every single window had a shade on it and every single window had an object right in the middle. Crow 1176, when he does his demonstrations, you notice that he pulls the windows in the back. Well, his windows has awnings. Now, he can't control the awnings because that's by the people who basically constructed the building. He has no control over that. But when he pulls his blinds up, I notice he selects certain ones that he pulls up in the demonstrations because he doesn't want those making contact with the screen. The window display you have there, that unit you have there, that bookcase should not be there at all. That is blocking ambient light from making contact with your screen. One of the things we noticed in one of his demonstrations, trying to do a demonstration, I say in a fully lit environment, and this was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, so far, he's out-topped that one, but this was pretty interesting. In this demonstration, he tried to make the environment seem like it was dark, well lit. He had all the blinds shut. He had this red light in the corner pointed at the screen. They gave it the illusion that we have all this light in the environment. What he didn't realize, it was 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sunlight in your peephole was pushing through your door, and we could see this blinding light pushing through your peephole. Not only that, when you slowed the camera down a bit and you push back to the far end, you could see where there was light coming out from around the windowsill, around the blinds at the bottom. And the reason why you had that piece of wood laying across, because his window blinds only went down to a certain degree, which means any light pushing under the window would have caught the bottom half of the screen. And that's why the 4x8 piece of wood was laying in that particular area. If you were doing any kind of work in that area, that should not have been there. You should have placed that in the next room, did a proper demonstration, and then went from there. That's stuff we pick up all the time. When you do demonstrations, objects that are in the room should be seen. Like excuse my French here, the Hellboy statue in the corner. I knew what it was because I've seen it before, but you couldn't even make it out because it was too dark in the environment. So we're going to do demonstrations on that. We're going to be going through different demonstrations, and I don't care if the companies get a little ticked off at it. Hey, it's your fault at the end of the day. You did a better job lighting up your environment. All right. We're going to have to set up a section for this. All right, how about this? We'll set it up over here. We'll do this over here. This whole section over here. I'll put a shelf right along there. We can put some lighting here, put some lighting at the top. This area is going to be well lit. So this is going to be an area designed to show you what you should be seeing. Call it the exposed room. I don't know what kind of name we're going to have for it, but it's going to be something crazy. So this is going to be over here for another demonstration. Get that set up for you guys. My personal favorite was a company called Knox, N-O-X. Knox demonstrations use ultra short throw projectors. Now, when they're doing it in a fully lit environment, they will take the screen and they will shrink the screen. Because if you shrink the screen, what happens is it causes the pixels to push tighter together, giving you a much more sharper, more brighter image. Like the equivalent of pushing your projector right up on top of the screen. So they'll do that. If they're doing a demonstration as pretty much more of a darker environment, then they'll pull the projector back and the image will get bigger. That's something we noticed, that the image side was changing depending on how much light they had in the environment. Also, I noticed that to the left, over here, or to the right, whatever, they had a little display over there. They had a piece of artwork. They had a couple of condensed lighting hitting it. Oh, we're going to go into condensed lighting like there is no tomorrow. So they had the condensed lighting hitting it. It gives off the illusion that when people walk in and look in the room, they go, wow, you got all this light on in the environment, because it's told that when you're using a projection screen setup, the environment has to be completely black. It has to be dark. Any light in the environment is going to disrupt the screen, any kind of light. With that being said, over embellished again, they can have 4 condensed lightings in a particular different section of where the screen's at. It can be dark here, it can be dark here, all in the corners. But if you notice, I have that little bit of light in the corner, and people go, wow, you can run that in here while you got the screen over there? That's not going to affect the screen in any way whatsoever. There's no physical light making contact with the screen. My personal favorite, when I see people take their cameras and they point into a complete different room that has nothing to do with the room that the screen projection screen is sitting in, and they go, wow, you gotta be kidding me. He has light in the next room and it's still not affecting the screen. How would that affect the screen? How? It's not going to affect the screen. That's one of my personal favorites. They take the camera and they do this. See how bright my hallway is? This is what they do. They do this. They'll lean over and they go, wow, look at that. And they'll lean up the screen like this. That light in there has nothing to do with in here at all, period. But I see people constantly do it all the time. All right, so that's going to be set up for this. Let's get back to this whole contrast demonstration. Watch it right now. Let's get something else. There's a lot of stuff to talk to you people about, a lot of stuff you should be watching. And these demonstrations, you got to get over just looking at the screen. You got to look at the environment. The environment tells the whole story of what's going on in the environment, how much light is in there. Look at the corners. Check out the corners. When you're looking at a screen, look at the background. Look at the corners. The corners are coming up dark. That tells you at the end of the day, they're using some kind of ambient light controlled environment. When I watch Elite screens, when I watch Diamond, when I watch all these companies, when I watch them display condensed lighting, you know what I'm looking at? The floor. I'm looking at the floor and I'm looking at the ceiling, because that's going to tell me where that light's landing at the end of the day. They'll have the screen here. They'll have the condensed lighting here, here, and here. None of that is going to make contact with the screen at the end of the day. That's why I look down at the floor. Because when I see those little circles popping up at the floor, that tells me where the light's coming in at. But when people look at it, they see this lighting coming down and they're seeing like, wow, gives off the illusion that there's all this light coming down on top of the screen. But if they look at the ceiling carefully, and if you look at the floor, you will notice that the condensed lighting is pushed away from the screen. And the lighting's hitting here. It's not making any contact with the screen. It's like this. Do you see the back of my screen, right? If you notice that the motorized projection screen is not making contact with the gray screen at all. Same thing with the condensed lighting. Say if this is the condensed lighting right here, and that's the physical screen. Depending on how far the condensed lighting's out, remember, condensed lighting is going to expand out. As it expands out, it's going to expand out, right? So they have it measured on exactly how far it has to sit out before the light can actually make contact with the screen. That's why when we did the demonstration with condensed lighting, we had the condensed lighting right over top of the screen. So when we turn off the screen, you can see the lighting shooting right down the side of the screen, showing that the screen has physical contact with condensed lighting at all times. But they have it away from it. So when that light lands, it has nothing to do with the screen. It's not even hitting it. A little bit of light sitting in that space about it, but not what should be hitting it. Especially if you're going to be calling yourself ambient light rejection technology at the end of the day. All right, let's continue on because Mr. Bird is chatting it up. But I like to explain things at the end of the day. It's stuff you should be seeing. At the end of the day, it's your money. Remember that. It's not mine. I don't have these issues at my house. I can walk through my house, I can fire all my screens up, and I can enjoy my stuff. I don't have those issues at the end of the day. You have those issues, not me. That's why when people contact me, they contact me because they want a much better image. They want what I have on my videos. That's what they want. They don't want to go home and look at this crap at the end of the day. Let's go over here and let's get, let me see. Contrast test demonstrations. We're probably going to pop up all over the place. We guarantee you we pop up all over the place on this one. Here we go, right there. This is a perfect one right here. This is why I explained, do not do contrast demonstrations in the dark. You're misleading your customers because not everybody's going to have the exact same environment that you're going to have. That's why we do max out zones, because we know darn well at the end of the day, outside, definitely. Outside, how many people are going to have that much light? I'm not going to do that so much, put any light inside. But then again, like I said, we do demonstrations with contrast levels outside. If we can have a screen to produce out there on 1,000 lumens at 13 feet back, then inside it's going to be a cakewalk. Boy, I'm telling you, they're lucky I'm not an inspector. If I was an inspector to see if people whether or not they get certifications, like I said, it'd be a hard one to get from us. If someone did get one from us, I'd tell you that'd be the best screen you ever seen in your life, because it wouldn't be that easy with us. I'm definitely coming in and questioning your work in a hot second. Why you got condensed lightings on the wall? What's that have to do with the screen? Okay, I see in your video you keep poking in the next room. What does that have to do with the screen? Oh yeah, I definitely would test your stuff. It's about getting the best you can get out of your product. And you see all the equipment that I have in my house, gaming systems, all that stuff. I'm not wiring any of my stuff up to a screen that looks like that at the end of the day. That's a waste of a fire stick. Let's get our lights out. See? Told you. Let's go bring it up and bring it down. So in order for you to get a somewhat decent contrast level, you're going to have to be in the dark. There's your wake-up call right there. That's where you're going to be at. Background behind that plane is supposed to be jet black. See how it's coming to life? Everything comes to life when the screen comes back over. There you go. AK. Nature Desire.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now this is the one right here, like I said. Tricks and tricks and more tricks. This demonstration was done in a dark environment. Very, very dark environment. And what they try to do is they put a lot of LED lights behind the back of the screen to give it like that illusion it's well lit. No, your environment is dark. If I can't make out that, excuse my French, I keep saying the word Hellboy, but if I couldn't make out the Hellboy statue in the corner, at the end of the day, if you can't take a remote control, as a matter of fact, you've seen about when you, I can't think of the name of it, the paint can openers. There you go. I can take a paint can opener, I can throw it in the middle of the floor, and you will see where it lands at. If you can't see where that lands at in a full and with a contrast demonstration, oh, we gotta make that one. We definitely gotta make that one a challenge. That's a good one right there. That is a good one. Fully lit environment, maxed out zone, and you should be able to take a paint can opener, throw it in the middle of your floor, and still see it. You should be able to see where it lands at, and still maintain a black contrast level the entire time. That would be a good demonstration. You see, I gotta think of stuff to challenge myself with. That would be fun. Okay, we gotta do that one. We'll make that one definitely a challenge. All right, let's play. Well, let's get our screen out of the way first. Definitely get our screen out of here. With the background. Never good. Let's put our lights on. This is something you should have saw in the demonstration. When you watch the demonstration of the screen being displayed on his channel, you should have saw him turn the lights on. Showing at the end of the day that if a customer were to use this in a fully lit environment, he still could maintain his contrast levels. Was any lights ever turned on in the video? No, they were not turned on. That entire video went from beginning to end with the lights out and stayed with the lights out. This is what you're supposed to be seeing. So when you're watching someone doing a contrast demonstration, if they want to do it with lights off or lights off, either way, those lights have to come on. Because at the end of the day, Mr. Bob, being me, being the customer, watching the demonstration, being fooled over the projector's performance, being fooled over the environment. If I come home and I take that same product and I stick it in my environment like so, am I going to receive the same contrast level I did with the lights off? And at the end of the day, this is why I explained to you that gray screen paint products cannot see contrast levels, nor color. They reflect too much white in the environment. For those that are dedicated theaters, complete fails. There you go. He has the option to back this up at any given time. If he cannot get the products, we can ship it to his front door with a simple yes. I have it downstairs in a box with everything he's needed to back his product. He chooses not to because he can't. And that means if you can't do it, that means it makes you a liar on camera. Let's go take a walk. At my screen here. There we go. The reason why I do this is because when I walk into my environments and have all the screens fired up, I should be able to move around my environment in any direction I choose, and that screen should pull up. Whether it be on the ceiling, whether it be on the floor, whether it be on the wall, I should be able to see it. Now, keep in mind, this environment is designed not only to deal with people like Jamie at the end of the day, or the parties, but for anybody, whether you be certified or you're not certified, or we're going to bring a massive collection in of certified screens. I want the newer stuff. And before we do this, we want to make sure that there's guidelines. And I mean by guidelines, I've got court papers from Screen Innovation. And we can back those up. We did get court papers from them at the end of the day. And within those court papers, it says that we violated copyrights. So before we go down the road of building up our collection, and it's not going to take me long to do it, keep in mind, Jamie and Partey, if you call yourself being the best of the best, you should have a collection of certified screens already to test your products again from the door. The fact that you don't have them at the end of the day shows your product doesn't do exactly what you said it does, and it's not worth the time or money. But I can show you how fast it'll take me to build my collection in no time at all. We'll have it here in no time at all, set up. So before we do this, I'm going to have my attorneys contact their legal department so we can get a clear understanding at the end of the day that what and what I can't do with your materials. So at the end of the day, when I'm doing my testing back and forth, if I even get a notification, whatever, an attorney will contact you right from the door, because at least and now I would know my rights, because we went through this with Diamond. They sent us all kinds of stuff in that document, and in that document clearly said that we violated this and we violated that and so on and so forth. So with that information on hand, we will be contacting your legal department, and we'll make sure that we get it written in writing, whatever has to be done, on what can be done and what can't be done. And I will be questioning some of the things that you guys will have in those articles due to the fact that when a customer buys a projection screen, how much of that product belongs to him? Because sure enough, at the end of the day, if I spend $5,000 for a projection screen, I should be to set it on fire in my backyard if I choose to. Not have a company come down on top and say, hey, you're slandering our name. No. It's mine. I paid for it at the end of the day. As long as I'm not saying things that I shouldn't say. Now, if I say something like, okay, the screen doesn't, without proper testing, mind you, with testing, you can't just say things for the sake of just saying things. You have to have the test to back it up. That's why we do all this testing on products. We have to have the test to back it up. You can't come out there and say, oh, the product comes out too dark and I can barely see it, and all this is nonsense. Can't do that at the end of the day. That's considered to be slander. You'd be sued for that at the end of the day. Can't do that. But if I say something like my product beat your product and it's better than your product and I can show proof of it, oh, heck yeah, I can do that at the end of the day. That's something they don't like, because at the end of the day, you're looking at a product that will cost the customers about $348 compared to $5,000. That's going to cut into their capital. At the end of the day, can they bring their capital down to your capital? It ain't going to happen. Their infrastructure would explode. Mind you, they charge $5,000, $10,000 for these screens, and the more you charge for a product, the bigger your capital becomes, the more you spend on your capital, and so forth. There's no way in the world you can take a capital of $10,000, $20,000 per screen and drop it down to a screen of $348. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen in the day. You're going to lose too much money. Your company's going to start hemorrhaging at the end of the day. You're going to have problems. So we can outperform them in price. We can outperform it in performance at the end of the day. But before we go down this road, I'm going to make sure that we do this right and we contact. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't see the difference between doing it side by side. People do side by side demonstrations all the time. But if you have a company that could potentially give you competition at the end of the day, you might want to put a stop into that as fast as possible before they get any bigger. So like I said, before we go down to getting more of the sample sheets we want, I'm going to have my attorney contact these particular places, send them emails, whatever we got to do at the end of the day, talk to them on the phone, whatever. We want to know exactly in what guidelines can a customer do what with a screen. So if a customer wants to do a side-by-side comparison, say, oh, I like the screen better because the screen beat that screen, we can come out to them with a lawyer at the end of the day because you said they violated copyright because you said one screen is better than the other. So what you're saying is they have to say your screen is better or they get sued. And then that's not freedom of speech at the end of the day. That's a lawsuit. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing next. Because like I said, I got the legendaries coming out, and we want to make sure everything's done by the book. The reason why the legendaries, you're not going to see them, because they're with lawyers and paperwork. A lot of freaking paperwork being done. Apparently a lot more paperwork than I thought. We got trademarks, we got to pay for, we got copyrights, we got patents, we got patent pendings. All that stuff has to be paid for. We're going to make sure we get this thing ready to go into the live stream with these big companies. At the end of the day, they can't dig through paperwork and say, well, we can take this or take that. Go ahead and touch it if you want. Or I'll just be sitting in court at the end of the day and you'll be paying me a lot of money. I don't think they want to add insult to injury already. So that's why we're making sure everything is locked in. But until then, we have this technology right here for you guys. So enjoy. But right now, let's do a little bit more with this. Let's do a little bit more. Let's get this one right here. I want to do this one right here. Let's add some color to it and add some contrast at the same time. All right? Let's get this right here. I gotta do some gaming off this screen up here. Oh, it's the Pac-Man screen. I keep forgetting. Yeah, you gotta bring the PS system up here. Do some Pac-Man off of it. This screen lights up like crazy. That's shaders running across it. All right, so there we are right there, fully lit environment. All right, and let's go pop over and let's bring up that gray screen behind it. That's why I said, when you watch the demonstration, always look at the background. Background always must remain in black. You know, there's a wall outlet right there at the bottom of my screen, but you can't see it. There's actually a light switch on the other side. I don't know if you can see it. Can you use a light switch right there? And there's an outlet right there. I just painted over top of them. All right, there we go. That's what you're getting right there. Let's take the lights out, see if you get an improvement. So lights out, this is where you gotta be. This is the reality. In order for you to get your image to come off looking a little better, you're gonna have to be in the dark. Let's bring ours down. See how the color comes to life? This is all the color you're missing off your screen because it's gray. Look at the black background at the same time. There you go. Let's play this one. Oh, hey, I should have did this when the remote control was there. We had the light in the room. Now we just play back and forth, that's all. So we have a little one over here. The hair wash out. It's supposed to be a bright red. One of the things they fool you when you watch gray screens, they'll say, well, the colors are brighter. They're not brighter, they're washed out. That's what it is. Outer space screensavers.
Getting that from YouTube.
Oh, better than that. Before we do that, let's do LG Beta Fish.
Getting that from YouTube. See how the red pops on the black screen? See how it washes out on the gray screen? Watch when it transfers through. Mind you, you're in a pitch black environment. That's the best you're going to get out of a gray screen. Let's turn our lights on. It's not going to go well. Now it's a ladybug flying through the room right now, so good. I can say I don't kill ladybugs. Bring that a little lower. There we go. Outer space screensavers.
Getting that from YouTube.
Let's see.
Monster spill? Quick, the quicker picker up. Bounty. I am a man of fortune, and I receive.
I've never played any of those games. I gotta play one of them. I've never played a God of War, and I've never played, I forgot the other game. There's another game too. I gotta get around to playing some of those. There you go. If I do a lights out only, lights on demonstration only, on contrast, it'll be a complete massacre at the end of the day on a gray screen. But we do this with lights off too, so you can see at the end of the day that even with your lights out, you still can't pick it up. And the sad thing about it is that's where you're gonna have to be at. You're gonna have to be in that dark environment in order for your product, the colors to come up. If that wasn't the case, then you would see the same exact demonstrations that we're doing on a gray screen paint product with no problem. And you don't see that, that's why. Now see how much more better the picture got for you? That's where you're gonna be at. See this nice dark environment? That's where you're gonna be at. When you watch demonstrations that Jamie shows off and it's nice and dark in there, that's where you're gonna be at. Yeah, let's show you something here. Let's go over and let's pick up, we're gonna go back to the, whatchamacallit, black background, goldfish.
Getting that from YouTube.
Like that one because it is what it is. It's a straight black background with a goldfish pushing through it. Either you're going to show contrast or you're not. That's the end of the day. That's what's going to come up. Either you're going to see it or you're not going to see it. Now, the whole purpose of the goldfish, which is such a beautiful, beautiful demonstration, why I love it so much, is because that black screen is going to have to produce a high enough white level, like I said, to be able to see that pretty goldfish bouncing across that screen. And you notice that the black screen is producing the exact same brightness as the gray screen. But the difference is you get color and detail when it hits our screen. When it hits a gray screen pack product, it washes out. See? There you go. Bounce right back over. Now let's put our lights on. This is the environment I'm used to being in. All right. Some switches over here. Make sure you guys are turning. It's one. Let's see. Now, you see the difference? This is why we watch demonstrations where people are doing demonstrations saying, well, I got lights on in the environment. They'll have one with the shade on and one without the shade. They'll actually have them with the shade on. When you have the shade on, light only has two choices to disperse, up or down, that's it. It's gonna go around the side, but it's not gonna be as bright. Or if you take the shade off, you're gonna have a lot of room, a lot of light. If you're gonna be doing a demonstration, you're gonna bring a lamp into the equation. Make sure you take the shade off of it first. Now that little bit of light we have in here, it's not affecting our screen at all. Look at the bottom half. As I said before, this technology, we develop it in a max out zone. So this screen painter screen at the top was displayed multiple times on multiple levels against certified projection screens in an environment that a meter couldn't pick up in the environment. And here is nothing. We're probably around maybe about 8, maybe about 7 or 8, maybe 6 or 7, maybe at the most. That's pretty much it. Nothing really biggie. And in part taste demonstration, he's talking about 300 to so and so. No, yeah, if you do have that much, I doubt. Okay, a little bit of light in the environment. All right, let's take out the overhead lights. We'll just use those right now. We'll take the overheads out. We're just going to use the bare minimum. That's all we're going to use. That's it. Background always remains black no matter what. Let's go with, let me see. Starfield Screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
That's what I want to use in to bring Starfield Screensaver up there.
Unlike some hearts, Reese's don't taste like desperation. Happy Valentine's Day.
Now mind you, when I seen Jamie do the same demonstration with the lights on, like this, guess what he was using? All colorful demonstrations only. Can't do this with a contrast demonstration. If you try it, this is what's going to happen. If you can't pick up in the dark, if you can't pick up with the lighting we have over top of you, what makes these things trying to pick up with the lighting we have on the floor? That's why when he does a demonstration, he uses colorful demonstrations, because some colorful demonstrations are going to fade less. TCL 4K demonstration.
Getting that from
I tell you, I know enough knowledge to choke a dinosaur. Told you. That's why when they're doing demonstrations, they will stick to bright, beautiful colors when displaying in a fully lit environment. They say, look, my product right here can pull off a well-lit screen and a beautiful image without fading or washing out. The problem is it is fading out. See that kind of tannish look to the bottom? Anytime anything black pops up, that screen's going to fade. Day, are you really seeing real color? Let's bring it down. Especially watch that fire hydrant. We had the cars come to life. Look at a fire hydrant. AK Desire Nature.
Getting that from YouTube. Getting that from YouTube.
Ooh, I thought I read something completely different. I was like, that wouldn't be good if you actually worded it that way, but they did word it another way. Okay, that's cool. So we're just about out of time. Just to show you at the end of the day, like I said, gray screen paint mixes, gray projection screens, white projection screens, can't see contrast at all. When we got the lights out, just have these little lights at the bottom, and our screen doesn't get washed out or faded by that. But you take it and you put this on this gray product, automatic washout. Now, at the end of the day, it's not just him at the end of the day. Keep in mind, I have customers that go out and they go to, like I said, Sherman Williams, they go to Home Depot, they go to Lowe's, they buy a bare silver screen and paint on their screens, they're going to get an amazing image. They buy all kinds of stuff. They buy great projection screens and all that stuff, and they think at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to pick up those amazing contrast levels because my projector can do such and such and so. But I'm here to tell you that I don't care if your projector can do such and such and so. You can't see it.
Thank you for your interest in Connoisseur Toyota Springfield, conveniently located on Baltimore Pike in Springfield, Delaware County. At Connoisseur Toyota Springfield, we have over 350 new Toyotas to choose from, all with Toyota Care included. A 2-year, no-cost maintenance plan saving you over $640. If you're interested in a pre-owned vehicle, we have over 200 certified and quality pre-owned vehicles of many makes and models to choose from. With our large selection, we are sure.
Washed out image. Again, it's washed out. It's doing this for fun. New York City screensaver, nighttime, skyline.
Getting that from YouTube.
on, going up. There you go. All right, hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Like I said, they do take a bit, but at least at the end of the day, it gives you a little bit more education on exactly what you need to look for. Stuff I'm going to be teaching you over the next couple of days, you're going to find yourself going on YouTube, doing research, watching videos and stuff, and we want you to do that. We want you to go out and do your research, compare everyone else's stuff to what we do over here. That's what we want you to do at the end of the day. Question people at the end of the day. Ask questions. Ask me questions at the end of the day. I don't mind. And these companies, people like Crow and Partey, yes, when they start talking all that nonsense on camera, question them. Ask them, hey, can you do this demonstration right here? Can you do this right here? Can you do that so and so and so? Because at the end of the day, they should be willing to do it with no problem whatsoever. That Sherman Williams, yes, he should be able to do that product. Tablecloths and stuff, yes, at the end of the day, because like I said, at the end of the day, that means the difference of you paying an $80 to $89 to a $23. That's what it ends up to be at the end of the day. Make sure you get what you paid for. If you took the time and the effort to research your projector to make sure you got the best projector you could possibly get for your money's worth, then you should do the same for your screen. All right, with that being said, got to get out of here. Thank you for your time, and God bless.